I swear, there's always that one special spot open for me on the terminal. Never mind. Now I'm in. Okay. So real quick, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support on my video yesterday, the Requise online fights and shit like that. I have so much fun making those videos, man. I also found out that I can actually put my FOV to what I would usually have it on over on Warzone, and I don't know why, but it always looks so weird on this. And since I ended up getting the fall camo, I went back, did the unlock all thing. That's 2. I want to thank you guys for nearly 30,000 likes on that video, so I appreciate it. So you guys have heard me talk about Modern Warfare 2 to death. I mean, to fucking death. The AA on controller is too easy. Everybody talks about aim assist, man. I mean, nerf it. They literally removed it on BO3. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna get sniped. You guys know, if you watch my videos, I straight up have talked Modern Warfare 2 camo grind to death. Because, you know, obviously that's the big thing to look forward to as soon as it starts. That is gonna be my life for at least a couple weeks, a few weeks. It depends how big this grind is. We haven't even talked about, you know, the possibility of it being even longer than the shit I've already done. Given I don't think anything's ever gonna take as long as the Obsidian grind that I did. A lot of people always ask me this whole shit of like, what really drove you mad first? Was it the Damascus grind or was it the Obsidian grind? The Damascus grind was kind of like trying to adjust to a completely new sport of some sort, where my ideology of how Call of Duty should and how it has been played for the past like decade plus was completely changed, deconstructed, and then reconstructed again to fit this different mold completely from what we know in terms of the general public and how all of the players even react to people playing slowly. Like, you usually got made fun of for this shit. You got bullied for this. But since the game ended up being so ultra popular, so many new players were there that didn't understand or know the whole like the culture of Call of Duty, the culture of public matches, the smashing, the trash talk, all that shit. Post-edit Jev here. I just want to point out here that I'm not talking about all that like, oh, you wouldn't survive in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Now, a lot of that shit is whack. I'm talking about play styles and shit. So the communities are so big now that people are able to find other groups of people that play the same way and echo exactly what they say to not make them feel bad about the way that they play. So it was very hard for me to adjust to, because I felt like I was going fucking crazy seeing all these people camp their asses off, and why is nobody making fun of them? Everybody is like actively defending each other on this shit. And listen, obviously, hey, listen, you can play the game however you want. This goes the same way in real life. If you do something in a more shameful way, some people will kind of look at it, you know, side-eye a little bit. So Damascus grind was, I feel like, overall harder for me to accept, especially in my playstyle of just running around and shit like that. That was harder to accept and adapt to, sure. The Obsidian grind was more of like a marathon that I knew I couldn't stop, where I knew exactly what I needed to do. I could play it in basically any which way I wanted to, because at that point I already have shipment. I'm able to grind it out. I'm able to use every single gun, strong and weak, not just running around trying to snipe and get montage clips and things like that. And I knew exactly what to do. I was accustomed to the game at this point already and had already adjusted, but it was so fucking exhausting that it was like, I spiritually felt like a part of me fucking died. It's like I took so much damage from the exhaustion that I have like a permanent hit to my actual endurance mentally now. My mental endurance actually got worse. You know how usually when people are training for like, you know, triathlons and shit like that, the more cardio that you do, the more endurance that you have, therefore your cardio gets better. This did the inverse amount of damage on me, kind of like swinging big power punches in UFC while being less than half HP. You end up losing your overall stamina even though you're doing the same thing. That's what it feels like to me now. I feel like I took permanent overall maximum mental endurance. I am unbreakable at this point. Understand, I am unbreakable. My defenses are higher. But that threshold, the threshold, I go really quick from I'm having fun to I'm not fucking touching this thing. I highly doubt that there is anything that they would ever be able to make that would be that disgusting. I don't know of any other human being yet. I'm sure that there is, but I haven't seen or met them. Except for, I think, Hammy. I haven't yet to meet a single person that actually went out of their way to unlock Obsidian for every single weapon in Modern Warfare 2019. It was the stupidest, dumbest fucking decision I have ever done. So what would I rather? I genuinely wish I never did that Obsidian shit. It absolutely wasn't worth it. Even if the video ended up getting 20 million views, it's not fucking worth it. It was not worth it at all. Modern Warfare 2019 did not deserve to get that much playtime from me. Absolutely fucking vile. But anyway, all of this stuff that I've been discussing and been talking about and seeing in all the conversation in the comment sections about what people think about, you know, the challenges, how hard do you think it's gonna be, we have yet to actually discuss what does it even look like? So if we look at Modern Warfare 2019, right, we don't have anything that's really that flashy. We look at Cold War, we got Dark Matter Ultra and Dark Aether. They are pretty flashy. We got atomic camo and dark aether on zombies, and although I'm not a big fan of that dark aether on zombies, it is animated, but extremely low effort animation though, by the way. It's literally Green Tiger just with like literally an animation playing of it just scrolling past the same pattern over and over again in an infinite loop. Like, I literally could mask that on Sony Vegas myself. Do you guys think it's gonna be more of like a Damascus type where it's just this simple pattern? It's not gonna be moving around or reactive or anything like that? Is it just gonna be another, you know, flat pattern like it was on Modern Warfare 2019? Honestly, having a mastery camo that then has just a flat, no movement, no reactiveness, nothing like that is such a strange choice for them to do. But I think it might have been like maybe ingrained in some sort of like realism ideology where it just felt like if they made something that was a little bit too out there, even if it was like DM Ultra, where it seemed like it was just this flat, watery liquid kind of look, it would just look a little bit too off, maybe on the engine. I don't really know what prevented them from making camos like that. Obviously, they had bundles that came out later that do look great, but the Mastery camo, that's what I'm talking about, the Mastery camo. Also, since this is gonna be on like a 2-year thing as well, are they gonna put more effort into it? You know what I mean? I would love to hope that that would mean more effort, but I don't necessarily know exactly what that means. Just because they have more time doesn't necessarily mean that they would just spend that extra time making a brand new mastery camo or a better one or some shit. They can make any of them that they want and slap it on there and say, hey, you got it. I mean, after all, they gave us Damascus. It doesn't look good at all. It's probably my least favorite mastery camo that I have unlocked. One mastery camo we don't talk about, I talked about it a while ago, like one time recently. A super underrated camo that people don't talk about. Obviously, Dark Matter is like the super most popular one, but Exclusion Zone. Exclusion Zone is probably my favorite mastery camo we have ever gotten. The Black Ops 4 Dark Matter is definitely the most transformative and I think overall coolest, but after a while, you know, the flashiness and over-the-topness of it, it kind of gets tiring. Whereas Exclusion Zone never got old. Never got tired of it. Every weapon looked great with it. All of them. Sniper rifles, assault rifles, blueprints or kits or whatever it may be, all of them. It just always looked good. There are times where Damascus, I don't know, just the way that it's programmed to like stretch across certain weapon models and things like that and surfaces. It does this thing where like if it's a gray area, it'll turn itself like really blue and leaves the other colors out of it. So your weapon ends up being like mostly blue on a lot of different versions of it when you try to put Damascus on top of it. And obviously you could just go and put Damascus combined with, you know, the bundles and stuff like that. Some people brought that up to me. That's a reason to go and unlock it. And they're right. Yeah, that's true. But what do you guys think this mastery camo would even look like? Do you think that they're going to just go with like another Damascus? Do you really like, because the thing is Atomic is, it's kind of like Damascus, but honestly just better. I think that Damascus looks much better with that yellow gold look into it. I think it looks awesome. And obviously it being animated obviously looks a lot better. It's also, even though it's the same kind of concept as that super underwhelming Dark Aether shit, where it's just scrolling over, it's just a flat image just moving, it's for some reason looks like even the image of the pattern is just higher quality. I don't know how to explain that any further, but the pattern even looks more high quality. Like the edges don't look as pixelated or something. An interesting thing as well is that back on Vanguard, we had a leak that was going around that showed 2 different colors of the Dark Matter / Dark Aether camo. I forget which one it was, but there was like a blue version and a red version or some shit. And we didn't get either of them. I think it was the Zombies camo. Yeah, we ended up just getting this Green Tiger thing that they called Dark Aether. Even though there was literally nothing else that was actually green in the Zombies version on Vanguard. There was nothing green. Usually you saw like some sort of theme with it. Thematically, it would make sense to be a Zombies camo. It would look like a Zombies infected weapon. We've had it in every iteration of Zombies before. You got the purple, you got the red, you got all this shit. And then I thought that this one would be literally just like red Dark Matter, but like updated. But instead, we got literally moving Green Tiger. Obviously, that's Vanguard, that's Sledgehammer or whatever, but surely, I mean, the camo could just be changed easily, right? Not that at this point it would really matter, but we have literal proof, actual gameplay of camos that they have just completely scrapped. They're literally better than what they gave us. I'm really sick of, like, the whole, like, Damascus pattern and shit like that. I'm really just not into it anymore. I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of done with the swirls and shit like that. They did that Damascus. They did Atomic. Cold War camos are good. Everybody went for the Cold War Zombies camo to go and use that Dark Aether in Warzone, and it took forever for them to do anything about it, but People finally got it, and they even updated it recently, and it looks even better than it ever looked before. Shit, it looks better on Warzone than it does on the actual game of Cold War. Obviously, I'm gonna go and unlock it anyway. It doesn't really matter if it is or isn't good, right? I'm still gonna do it. After all, I went and unlocked Obsidian for literally every single weapon. Obsidian is incredibly underwhelming. It's literally just a very glossy black camo with really, really cool cuts and edges and shit like that, but it's not really flashy. It's Obsidian, literally Obsidian. It's cool. It also thematically makes a whole lot of sense in terms of what the challenge is, because the challenge shows basically commitment, hardness, toughness, just like Obsidian. When you look at Obsidian, you don't see it as soft, maybe brittle, you can break pieces off of it, but you're thinking of stone. You're thinking of molten rock heating up and then cooling down and creating this tough substance. It makes sense thematically, you know? Maybe I'm just thinking too much in it, but that's why I thought that they made Obsidian that kind of challenge, right? That makes sense. But for a mastery camo, I really hope that it's not bad. Like, the last time Infinity Ward made a super flashy camo, it was what? Dark Skies and camos over on Infinite Warfare, right? Those were crazy. So we know that they're capable of making this crazy over-the-top shit. And also, obviously, Infinity Ward is the only one that has actually added another mastery camo after the original mastery camo. They added a new camo grind. That did not happen for Vanguard or Cold War. Now, they still, sure, maybe they still have an opportunity to, but I swear, man, if it's literally just another revamped version of this swirly thing with red, blue, yellow, like, oh my god. Like, I'm just so tired of looking at it. I really hope it's fun. It could be a million things. It could go anyway. It's just strange that all that talk that we've had about it, I actually hadn't ever at any point asked, what do you guys think it'll even look like? Like, if it's gonna have any color, what color do you think it's gonna be? That's simple. What color? Is it gonna be multiple colors? One color? It's just a thought.